Have you ever gone from a child to an adult? If so, then you might know what it's like to move like this, dress like this, charge people $900 just to say hello to you, and go on yet another TV show after trying to distance yourself from the one that got you famous.
JoJo, have you learned nothing?
But welcome on in, my name's John, and I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by JoJo Siwa and her ever-growing desire to say JoJo Siya to her public perception. Because ever since JoJo Siwa went on that TV show where adults shout at kids for having the performing ability and behaviour of kids, she's been on a huge quest to change the famous child look and become a big scary adult who says words like poo and piss. But her latest move is to go on another TV show.
I don't think there's any hiding me in the Big Brother house. When people first meet me, they're like, who is this 21-year-old? Oh my god, she's gonna be so annoying. And then they get to know me and they're like, wait, this bitch is funny. Can I swear in the Big Brother house?
Guys, she swears now. Former child grew up and now says naughty words. But speaking of naughty words, I want to go into the main reason why I actually knew JoJo was in the house, because I didn't see any of the trailers. This guy, Mickey Rourke, because he called JoJo a homophobic slur.
I'm gonna vote the lesbian out real quick. I need a Not talking to you.
He got a warning for that, by the way. But why ever would he do that? Probably because he's an old man who's run out of money, so now he's going to go be controversial to JoJo Siwa. Because he once was actually fairly spoken about. He was a famous actor and boxer. I know that because I did some Googling. But when I did my Googling, I found the name of a film that he was in, and it's actually a good way to describe him. Blunt Force Trauma. Blunt because he says it how it is. Often the way an older person would excuse themselves for being a bigot. And he is old. He was born in 1952, so he's the same age as KFC. But he's more of a whopper than a zinger. But force because he tried to start a fight with someone because they dared to look at him.
Don't eyeball me.
Mickey, it's a joke. Fucking
Don't fucking eyeball me.
Homophobic and physically aggressive. That's just what everyone wants to spend their time locked in a house with. And then trauma because he said he would tie JoJo Siwa up and she would not be a lesbian anymore.
If I stay longer than 4 days, you won't be gay anymore.
I can guarantee I will still be gay and I will still be in a very happy relationship.
I'll tie you up.
That's enough to say JoJo Siya to humans in general. So I guess mission success? I mean, at what cost? But yeah, enough about him. He's just a dried up old prune desperate for attention. But there are a few moments from JoJo's time in the Big Brother house which I do want to speak about. Because I watched a video where she dressed up as a cat and went for a piss.
Okay, hold on. There we go, you ready?
Yeah.
Set?
Yeah.
People say to a cat, pss, 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 not piss, piss, piss. But is this what cable TV is now? A grown woman really said go piss girl and a man just stands there smiling. Has every idea in the world ever already been done? Surely there is still room of things to think of. Like, didn't we have this big rebrand where we're being edgy and cool now? Saying words like shit and piss.
I'm just gonna, okay.
Okay, maybe it makes sense. But the overriding thing that keeps finding its way onto my For You page is JoJo getting very close with this fella called Chris. And just thinking about doing a video talking about a relationship drama surrounding JoJo Siwa is just really, really strange to me. Especially when this was Chris in 2017.
I like cashews, not in a mouth like cashew.
And then JoJo. All of that rebrand just to find yourself a cheeky Nando's with the lads final boss. And to be honest, I wasn't initially going to speak about this because it feels like very parasocial Twitter user or Daily Mail. The whole point in the show is just for people to go on there and get themselves spoken about more. But then I saw that JoJo went into the house and started doing all of these things with this man whilst in a relationship. So then I decided to sit outside of the Big Brother house with some cool glasses and a telescopic lens. So essentially, JoJo was dating somebody called Kath Ebbs. More like Kath, I'm absolutely going to cheat on you, is what I would say if I was JoJo Smegma. Even though she once said they grew up so fast. But apparently, JoJo dumped Kath at the after party of Big Brother.
Went to the after party with my, I guess now ex, crazy thing to say, and was dumped in the party.
Being dumped, sponsored by Beats. Nothing beats public humiliation. But on a real though, JoJo really doesn't help herself. It seems like everything she does these days is to be seen with some sort of shock factor. It's like every time we hear her name, we're supposed to be like, oh my god, JoJo Siwa, you are so bad girl and do bad things. You're not a child anymore. But you can do that without publicly humiliating somebody. There's a fun fact for you. But maybe she'll come back like a boomerang. Who knows? And maybe this is what she meant by bad girl doing bad things. But you can't can't tell me that this meant nothing. But karma may in fact be a B word though, because it appears that JoJo has played the game, chose her fighter, but I don't think her guilty pleasure will be having an iced coffee with her after the show, because she kind of got friend-zoned by the guy that she was being very close with.
When you love someone, you can love someone from a platonic friendship way, and it doesn't have to be like, oh my god, I love you, but I love the fact that we had each other in there, and that made our life easier.
Don't let the helium balloon distract you from the fact that he just platonic zoned her, which she probably wished never happened and was a secret. But I'm going to move on, for now, but not necessarily hold the drama, because JoJo was up to something before going on the Big Brother house, something worse than weird dancing. But do I prefer it when JoJo was doing this? I mean, probably not. It's all pretty weird, but not as weird as charging your fans $900 just to come and say hello to you. That's pretty weird. Essentially, JoJo is going on tour soon. Wow, cool. Singer goes on tour and sings songs. Who would have thought it?
I truly can't make this stuff up. JoJo Siwa is currently facing a lot of backlash because she is selling VIP tour tickets for over $900.
But $900 just to see JoJo Siwa? Bad, right? I've not even got on to the worst bit yet. She's selling something called the Dream Guest ticket.
Dream guest on my podcast?
But in this package, you'd be paying $900 to effectively work for her.
JoJo Siwa is officially heading back out on tour, and for the low price of $900, you can actually help her crew set up the stage as part of your VIP package.
Oh, isn't that lovely? JoJo just loves her fans. In fact, she loves her fans so much that she wants to give you the opportunity to give her your money and service. And she's giving you a job. You can put that on your resume, maybe. At a job interview when they ask for your most recent work. Oh, I was JoJo's dream guest once. Yeah, man, she let me set up the stage for her and everything. Because that's it. You're an unpaid employee. Well, not even an unpaid employee. You're a paying employee. It's like an internship that you're paying for. But what if you don't want to set things up? You get there on the day and you've got a bad back or something. Or, hear me out, you just don't want to do it. Do you get held at gunpoint? Is somebody going to enforce someone to get on their workwear, grab a spanner and a hammer? But like, what if things go wrong? If you're up on a ladder setting up the spotlights, what if you A, do it wrong? Is JoJo gonna sue you for more money? What is she gonna do? Dock your wage? Oh wait. What if you fell? Are these dream guests insured? Would you get a t-shirt that said, I plummeted to the stage floor as JoJo's dream guest? But after laughing hysterically and putting my instant thoughts about the dream guest experience into the Google Doc that I'm reading from right now, I decided to look in a bit more detail. So you get one ticket, obviously. You get to watch the show from a designated area. Asterisk. Location may vary per market. See date for details. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but shouldn't this be an assured thing if someone's going to pay $900 to come and see JoJo Siwa? And like I mentioned earlier, if you turn up on the date and you don't want to partake in these activities, they're going to get annoyed at you. I sure hope they've got professionals hired on the day, because maybe you bought this ticket just because you want to do the early access meet and greet thing. And more importantly, the sound check. Everyone wants to hear more JoJo singing. So much so that you get a say in the songs that are picked. And I'm sorry to sound like a generational hater, but JoJo has 6 songs on Spotify. What if the person in the dream guest experience only likes 5? What if there's one you don't like? I don't know, maybe there's just one thing that puts you off one particular song. There's just one part about one of the songs that you just can't get on board with. You love JoJo so much as a fan, but you just can't quite... My point is, there's not a wide library to choose from. You're picking from 6 songs. These total to 902 seconds. It's literally $1 a second. Oh my god. But does this mean your average JoJo Siwa concert is 15 minutes long? A little bit longer, give or take, because of the intervals in between. But this got me to think, the normal scumbags who are buying the general admission tickets, are they getting their money's worth? Because like $70 to see 6 songs, it's a bit rough. I really hope that like she does actually bring some more material. I'm not even just meaning to sound like I'm a hater. That could be the only way that she justifies this. But we all know that JoJo doesn't have much consideration for anyone else, hence the treatment of her now ex-partner. But you know, on this channel, I like to be fair. I like to give people the opportunity to speak for themselves. So let's give JoJo Siwa the chance to explain this to us, shall we?
I'm gonna do these first 2 together because they go together. So the first thing is 1 general admission ticket to the show, and you get to watch a show from any designated audience area of your choice. So this literally means you can be be anywhere in the venue that you prefer.
So you get a general admission ticket, as I hoped you would. Then you can stand where you like. That is literally what general admission means. I'm so glad JoJo's thought of the fans here.
Okay, exclusive invitation to JoJo's live show setup before the Q&A and sound check with JoJo. Now this, you're going to be able to come to the venue while we're setting up the show. You're going to be able to hang out, watch what we're doing, watch me test things out. You can hang out with me.
Yeah guys, you get to watch people do their jobs. It's so fun to watch people plug things in and adjust volumes. But more importantly, you get to hang out. Celebrities hanging out with fans, because this has never gone wrong in the past. Historically, there is no issues with this concept. These things, they always end well.
Also, keep in mind, there's only 4 Dream Guest VIPs per city. So this is going to be a super intimate, like, friend vibes experience.
Super intimate friend vibe. Now, where have we heard that before?
You could love someone from a platonic friendship way.
But you're telling me I just paid $900 to be a dream guest on your podcast. I mean, my friend paid $900, and he's not the only one. It's just going to end up like that weird podcast where that man gets on lots of women, even though he clearly hates women. I'm not going to feel like a dream guest at all. I'm just going to feel like an average guest, an awake guest, if you will.
You're also going to get to help me put together the show with song selection input. So when I said you're going to help me create the set, I did not mean the actual set, like building the set. I meant like the set for the night. You're going to get to have this part of the show where it can be different every single night, and you get to pick what that part is.
So you're telling me I don't get to use the JoJo Siwa cock and ball spanner. I'm merely making a playlist of 6 songs and putting them in a different order. I can't believe you've done this. I ordered all of this merch for nothing. I even got a custom hard hat made. But jokes aside, does anyone feel like the value has been justified yet? Because I'm struggling.
You're going to get an exclusive autographed JoJo memorabilia worn during the show. Let me clarify, if you don't want it autographed, you don't have to get it autographed, but I'm going to wear something during the show that then you get to take home.
Has anyone ever been annoyed at autographs? Isn't that just a thing that singers and performers have always done? I don't think anyone at your show is going to be offered an autograph and get angry. It's one of the only tangible things that you can take away from meeting your favourite performer. It's been a thing for years. But that's kind of it for the dream guest perks. The rest is kind of just on all of the other packages as well. And I'm personally not feeling like much of a dream guest. A special one, but not quite a dream one. But all was forgiven when JoJo finally announced that tickets were on sale.
Get ready for a live performance, get ready for a concert, get ready for a DJ set, get ready for an immersive party, crowd participation.
Oh, so a concert will be happening at a concert. That's good to know. That is literally like someone's just trying to hit the word count on their essay. But I'm so glad that's all cleared up. Just charge what you like. But on the contrary to all this, it's easy to just sit here and criticize somebody on the internet. Trust me, I do it often. Like and subscribe if you like that. But I do think that a lot of the treatment of JoJo Siwa, mainly mainstream stuff, is kind of being twisted to fit a certain narrative. And the amount of homophobia that I've seen in comment sections, it's genuinely absurd. Someone can be a bad person and do bad things. It doesn't have anything to do with their sexuality. But we all know JoJo loves a bit of rage bait, right? Actually, she's obsessed. It's literally her business model. But I do think genuinely a lot of it might be down to having a childhood to catch up on, because she had key maturing years that were spent relentlessly performing, rehearsing, and just generally on display to the world. And it's just not a normal environment for anyone to be raised in. But then again, JoJo hasn't exactly reacted to that well herself. Most people would have things like this happen to them and then use that experience combined with, let's face it, extreme wealth, and correct these wrongdoings for future generations. But not JoJo. Because in 2021, JoJo actually started a group thing called XOM Pop. Essentially, JoJo's mum and JoJo got a load of young dancers and allegedly made them experience similar to what JoJo had to deal with when she was on Dance Mums. And JoJo has spoken publicly about how this show has affected her negatively multiple times. She's also received tons of sympathy online. But there was lots of public outrage for XOM Pop, such as people allegedly working in appalling conditions, people not being paid, and people being yelled at whilst literally going through the process of their body physically rejecting working any harder. And these kids were like 10 years old. So just all round, doesn't sound particularly friendly. But the reason I'm bringing this back up in the year 2025 is because of JoJo's mum. JoJo's mum was seen at the heart of the XOM poop alongside JoJo, and obviously when JoJo was a child, she was thrown into this world by her mum. She didn't really have a choice. You know, that's a mum that's so loving and caring towards her daughter. Definitely not selfish and horrible. But her name, bad vibes, bad smells, and more importantly, kiddie hell, don't end with just her putting her daughter through an awful time when she was younger. Because remember, when JoJo went on the Big Brother house, she was all over this man from Love Island. People were intrigued to see what was going to happen with JoJo's social media.
My mom's gonna be keeping my social media updated.
Now, you probably think she's just going to promote the tour, she's going to post some silly dances from the drafts. No. Well, she did do that. But she was also posting clips from JoJo on the show. But could you imagine seeing a grown man saying he's going to tie up your daughter and convert her to not be a lesbian anymore? Also use slurs in her direction, which reduce her to tears? As a mum, I'd imagine you'd be pretty annoyed at this. But no, JoJo's mum decided to post a clip from the show and defend Mickey in the caption. We're all human. We all make mistakes, deserve second chances and forgiveness. Also, as humans, we pretty much all want some of the same things out of life. Happiness, friendships, to be heard and feel appreciated. Love, dance mum Jess. Hashtag proud mum. This guy was removed from the show from making those mistakes over and over and over. But I do appreciate the mindset of learning rather than just cancellation. But it's so obvious that he was casted to go in there and just make people uncomfortable. And the fact that he was given a warning for using a homophobic slur, anyone else would have just been chucked out. But there was also a moment on the show where they get the contestants' family to write in. JoJo's mum wrote in and spoke about how she was watching the launch of the show with JoJo's then partner Kath Ebbs, which is interesting. But in that note, there was a line which stood out to me.
Kath's keen to see you when you get out, in inverted commas.
Yeah, JoJo, remember you're in a relationship. You know, your partner outside, they've seen you getting pretty close with the boohoo man fella. Anyways, enough yapping. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please do feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I'm probably going to do an Instagram story for video idea topics, so if you are interested in leaving me one, just go follow me over there. And yeah, cheers.